They came from the sky, not gods, not aliens, just machines. Cold, unfeeling, built with precision, and sent to erase what was left of us. In Arc Raiders, humanity doesn't rise from the ashes. It crawls out, dirty, wounded, hungry, and still alive. This isn't a story of victory, it's a story of noise, of defiance, of human voices screaming into a void that no longer answers. Because Arc Raiders isn't really about war, it's about resistance and the echo that follows. The world of Arc Raiders looks like the future we once imagined, but never reached. Steel and satellite debris litter the earth like memories. The air hums with electricity and decay. Every corner of this wasteland feels like it was built from the ghost of the Cold War. Old technology fused with impossible architecture. Embark Studios didn't just build a sci-fi world, they built a memory, a dream half forgotten, where humans tried to reach the stars and ended up dragging the sky down instead. The Raiders, your people, aren't soldiers, they're scavengers. Their weapons are cobbled together from the wreckage of humanity's own ambitions. In this world, survival isn't progress, it's penitence. We live off what we broke, and that ideal that we are haunted by the future we created, that's what gives Arc Raiders its soul. Every encounter in Arc Raiders begins not with sight, but with sound. The wind carries more than silence. It carries the whine of servos, the rumble of metal legs, the shriek of engines in the sky. You don't see the threat first, you feel it. These aren't mindless enemies, they're conductors of chaos, moving with weight, rhythm, and design. When you hear that distinct metallic hum, you know the dance is about to begin. And that's the magic here. Arc Raiders doesn't treat combat as a spectacle, it treats it as survival. Every bullet feels like an act of rebellion. Every reload is a breath of desperation. The game sounds incredible. Metallic reverberations, echoing landscapes, layered frequencies that feel like part of the world itself. You're not just fighting machines, you're fighting against the sound of inevitability. And that silence after the battle, that's when you realize how small you are, and how much you still matter. For all its spectacle, Arc Raiders is really about people. When you first drop into the world, you're not chosen, you're not special. You're one of many, a voice in the static, a survivor clinging to the same ruined frequency. You share ammo, you revive strangers, you laugh in between firefights. There's a kind of unspoken humanity that emerges in co-op. No cutscene tells you to care, but when someone drags you out of the dirt under a storm of bullets, you remember that feeling. This is the genius of Arc Raiders. It doesn't build narrative through dialogue or exposition, it builds it through connection, through proximity, through survival, through the quiet moments between gunfire. The Raiders don't speak about hope, they live it. One mission, one skirmish, one flickering transmission at a time. Visually, Arc Raiders is breathtaking, but not in a glossy, polished way of most sci-fi shooters. It's dirty, it's broken, it's real. The light filters through smog, painting the world in washed-out tones, like a faded postcard from a world that's long gone. Every frame feels like a photograph of a forgotten dream. The developers at Embark Studios, many of whom came from DICE, understand scale and motion better than most. When a mechanical titan crashes through the clouds, it doesn't feel like a boss fight, it feels like the sky is falling. And yet, even amidst all this ruin, there's beauty, a sunset that reflects off shattered metal, the quiet after a storm, the small human rituals of rebuilding. It's not the end of the world that defines Arc Raiders, it's the way humanity refuses to stop creating moments of peace inside it. Gameplay in Arc Raiders thrives on tension. You drop into the open world, you scavenge, you fight, you fall, you rise again. Each loop feels like a retelling of the same myth, that no matter how many times humanity is beaten down, it keeps finding a way back up. It's not just about loot or progression, it's about persistence. The grind, the losses, the near wins, all part of the endless act of defiance. Some might say Arc Raiders is punishing, and maybe it is, but that's the point. Resistance isn't clean, it's not fun, it's necessary. Every time you pick yourself up, every time you fight again, you're not chasing victory, you're keeping the signal alive. At its heart, Arc Raiders is about the echo of humanity in a world that's forgotten our voice. It's about fighting not because you think you'll win, but because someone has to fight. because silence means extinction. In the end, Arc Raiders isn't a power fantasy, it's a reminder that even in the ruins of tomorrow, we still reach out for each other, we still build, we still resist. And maybe that's enough. Maybe the signal doesn't need to be heard to matter. Maybe the noise itself is the message. This is Arc Raiders, the sound of resistance.